Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the 2026 military standoff in the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to trace how a conflict in one narrow waterway is pulling in superpowers, absolutely devastating nations, and putting the entire global economy on a knife's edge. So let's start with the question that really gets to the heart of all this. How is this even possible? Well, because the Strait of Hormuz isn't just a body of water. You have to think of it like the main artery for a huge chunk of the world's oil. And right now, that artery is getting squeezed shut. And the pressure is just immense. According to reports, this number, $57.7 million, is what Iran is estimated to be losing every single day because of the U.S. blockade. So this isn't just a military fight, this is economic warfare, plain and simple. It's designed to cripple a country from the inside out. Okay, let's get into it. Here's how we're going to break this down. We'll start at the epicenter, the military clash itself, and then we're going to zoom out to see all the ripple effects from war-torn Lebanon all the way to the halls of power in Beijing and Washington. All right, first up, the direct military standoff. You know, they say whoever controls the seas controls the world. Well, the Strait of Hormuz has become the ultimate test of that theory. It's a tinderbox just waiting for one wrong move. And this slide just illustrates the clash of strategies perfectly. On one side, you've got America's massive conventional power. A floating fortress built on overwhelming technology and firepower. And on the other side, Iran's asymmetric tactics, a literal swarm of over 1,500 small, fast boats. The whole idea is for them to act like piranhas, attacking from every direction to confuse and just overwhelm a bigger, more complex enemy. Okay. So the fighting on the water is one thing, but now we get to the money. Because when the shooting pauses, the accounting begins. And Iran is presenting the world with a bill for damages that is just staggering. $70 billion. That is the jaw-dropping bill Iran has handed to its neighbors. Their claim is that this is the direct cost of all the devastation, arguing that this war wasn't just fought from the sea, but also from the skies over neighboring countries. Now, what's really fascinating here is that this kind of thing isn't new. Iran is basically pointing back through history to justify this massive claim. They're looking at times when nations were forced to pay for war. And as you can see, the debts from past conflicts, they can last for decades, completely reshaping countries for generations. And this table lays out Iran's so-called hit list. The accusation is simple, it's direct. These 5 nations, they say, were partners in the aggression because they opened their skies to enemy jets, turning the whole region into a launch pad. But as you can probably guess, the accused nations are pushing back, and they're pushing back hard. This quote from a Qatari official really says it all. They completely deny any involvement and are calling this whole demand a lie, an attempt to make them pay for a conflict they say they had nothing to do with. Of course, a crisis this big was never going to stay regional. It has blown up fast, pulling in global superpowers who have their own strategic and economic interests at stake. It's turned into a very tense, very high-stakes game of geopolitical chess. So, under the name Operation Clearwater, the United States has set up this incredibly formidable naval blockade. We're talking a full carrier strike group led by the USS Abraham Lincoln, advanced F-35 stealth fighters, even specialized minesweepers ready to deal with any Iranian threats. It is a massive show of force, designed to completely choke off Iran's ability to trade by sea. But while the U.S. is flexing its military muscle, another world power is playing a totally different game. As all those warships were gathering in the Gulf, some very high-stakes meetings were happening over in Beijing, signaling a major shift in who holds influence on the world stage. And this is a huge deal. China's President Xi Jinping broke his silence, meeting with the leaders of Saudi Arabia and the UAE, and his message was crystal clear. This fire needs to be put out before it burns all of us. You have to remember, China is the world's biggest oil importer. They need Middle Eastern energy. So with their own economy on the line, Beijing is stepping up as a peace broker, pushing for everyone to cool down. Okay, let's shift gears now, because away from all the superpower politics and the naval strategy, there's a devastating and often forgotten human cost on the ground. Beyond the headlines about oil prices and warships, an entire nation is being torn apart. To really get the tragedy here, you have to remember what's been lost. Lebanon, especially its capital Beirut, was this incredible hub of fashion, art, and ideas, a cultural lighthouse for the whole region. Its food, its history, it was celebrated all over the world. Well, that vibrant past has been replaced by this grim, grim present. Constant bombing has turned thriving cities into these desolate ghost towns. The smell of bakeries has been replaced by the smell of gunpowder, and all the sounds of life have been silenced by the constant drone of war. And this right here, this is the human story behind all those headlines. One resident, Sheikh Musa, has seen his home bombed again and again through multiple wars. And while hundreds of thousands of people are fleeing, he stays. Because for him, that pile of rubble isn't just a destroyed building. It's a lifetime of memories that he absolutely refuses to abandon.
All right, let's pull the lens back one last time and look at the political shockwaves. This conflict isn't just redrawing maps in the Middle East. It is rattling governments and testing alliances all around the world, and it's leaving pretty much everyone on edge.
Back in the United States, this is all taking a heavy political toll. President Trump's disapproval rating has jumped to 64%. Why? Because Americans are getting tired of the conflict, tired of rising gas prices, and tired of growing inflation right here at home. The pressure is really building. And this domestic pressure is happening at the same time as what some experts are calling a shift on the world stage. Recent elections in Europe, and even a key mayoral race in New York City, are being pointed to as maybe, just maybe, signs of a global turn away from the kind of authoritarian nationalism that's been on the rise for years.
So, here's where we stand. A military stalemate in a vital waterway, a crippling economic war, a humanitarian catastrophe unfolding in the background, and a world that is completely divided on what to do next. The path forward is dangerously unwritten.
And that leaves us with one final critical question. When this is all over, who really pays the price for peace? Is it paid in billions of dollars in reparations? Is it paid in land and political influence? Or is it paid by people like Sheikh Musa, who have already lost everything except their memories? That's something for us all to think about.